Hi, I'm Cam Taylor with the Transitional Leadership Network. Is your congregation currently in transition or anticipating a transition because of a pastoral change? I want to speak to you about something that is very important as you consider your transition, and it's this. The way that churches need to do transitions today is different than the way they did them in the past. And let me tell you why. Because the type of change that is required in most churches today is no longer technical change. It is now adaptive change. Now, what do I mean by that? What I mean by that is when I used to use a cassette player and my cassette player broke, I would go down to the store, buy another cassette player, and I knew exactly what to do. I had the tools, the know-how to fix my problem and to solve it. Well, then all of a sudden, we entered into this digital world. And I had no idea how things worked. We had to buy new equipment in order to play the messages, the videos, the content that we wanted to. And that's the difference between technical, we know how to do it. Adaptive change, we need outside help and resources and support in order to do it. And this is how that relates to the church. There was a day when technical change was all that was required when there was a transition, when a pastor left. You get a search team, you knew what you were about doing your programs better, and if we build it and if we do it right, people will come. Well, that doesn't work anymore. People are not coming to our churches, and I'm seeing that in large numbers. Churches are in decline. They're trying to figure out how can they reach their communities. We require adaptive changes in our congregations because it isn't a straight line from where you are to where you want to get to. There's some ups, there's some downs, there's a need for some bridge building. We need outside resources, outside input, new ideas, even some new ways of doing things so that we can actually get to the destination of reaching people for Jesus. And it looks more like this. It's all about equipping people to be on mission for Jesus. It's not about just build it better and bring them in. So here's my point. During transition is an opportunity to make a shift, or at least to begin to make a shift from the model that isn't working to a way of doing church and being church that is actually going to reach our communities. The message has not changed. But just like Jesus said, we need new wineskins to put the new wine in. God is on the move. But we have got to find new wineskins so that the message can breathe and have life. And it takes us to be able to see things differently, think differently, understand how the church needs to adapt and change so that it can actually be relevant to all kinds of generations, from the youngest all the way to the oldest. So if you're in transition and you're considering just some technical changes, pulpit supply, find a pastor, let me just encourage you that if you're in a state where change is needed, deep change is needed, look at the opportunity that is yours during transition to be intentional, to get outside help, to go deep, to do assessment, to figure out what is God's new vision, a new way of doing the work that He's called us to do. The message has stayed the same. But the way that we deliver the message, the way that we show up in the world has got to change if we're ever going to reach the people that are living in our neighborhoods, that we're working with, that we're rubbing shoulders with, that desperately need the message of Jesus. But if we don't change more radically, we will not actually be able to realize that dream that we have. So I hope that encourages you, but also gives you an opportunity to think a little bit differently about your transition if in fact you were not thinking that way. So thanks for watching. We're here to help, and I want this to be an encouragement for you to consider adaptive change and what that might mean versus status quo, technical change, which just won't work. Thanks for watching and have a great day.